Now that they departed and came back to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh, they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. Then they told him and said, "We went to the land where you sent us. It truly flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south. The Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains. And the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan."
Good morning. It is good to be with you on this beautiful Lord's Day. If you are visiting with us, we would like for you to know that we are very happy to have you visit the congregation here at McCaysville, and we hope that you find our worship being done in spirit, that is the right attitude, and in truth, that is in accordance with God's Word. John chapter 4, verse 24, God is a spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. When we think about Numbers chapter 13, we look at Numbers 13 and we realize that there were these spies sent out, and there was a good report given and a bad report given. And when we think about what was being said here as far as these spies are concerned, John read in your hearing up to about verse 26. But when we look, we find out that they believed that they were grasshoppers in the sight of these other men. You know, today many people have what is called the Grasshopper Complex. They began to be scared. They began to be scared and overwhelmed at maybe the amount of people, the amount or the scope of the mission before them. And they begin to have doubts in their minds about certain things. Happens today. I remember when I was a little boy, Mom had a book or two, fairy tales. Now the Bible is not a book of fairy tales, it is a book of true events, but yet in this book, or in these books of fairy tales, there were one or two books you had with the same story in it. They differed a little bit, but yet the same thrust was there concerning these stories. One was Jack and the Beanstalk. And I remember I used to like to read that story of Jack and the Beanstalk, and how Jack planted that bean, and there was a big stalk that grew forth, and he went up and found himself among a giant man, and was scared to death of that giant man. You know, oftentimes people today are scared, whether it be of the scope of the mission that is set before them or whatever. They have this grasshopper complex, and so we also find small congregations in the same boat. We see that there are small congregations who may have a mission set before them, and they may begin to have doubts in their minds. How are we going to accomplish this? And some people say, well, we just cannot accomplish this. We're such a small congregation. I remember that there was one man that was well known in the 50s and 60s in the Brotherhood. This man wrote several books. He was a faithful gospel preacher. And he worked at what was known as the Madisonville Church of Christ. They started out with only a few members. From my understanding, there was about 25 to 50 members in that congregation. They had a mission set before them. This good brother said he went to a men's meeting before they had elders at that congregation, and one man stood up and said, "I don't think we need to do anything. It's just going to discourage us. We need to just sit steady in the boat. Just sit steady in the boat." We're happy. In other words, what the man was saying, I'm happy with 25 to 50 members. We don't need any more. Let's just stay steady in the boat. The preacher wasn't very happy with that man. He stood up and let him know that the Lord's church is not to be steady in the boat, but to be working and attempting to grow When we look at the book of Numbers chapter 13, going through chapter 14 or part of it, we're going to see some points here, and I want us all to notice these points together, and they're all going to begin with the letter D. Let us look at Numbers chapter 13, and we'll begin with verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel. I want you to put that phrase, and I have that underlined in my Bible. I want you to put that in the back of your mind, and we'll come back to it in just a few minutes. I give to the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall you send a man, every one a ruler among them. And Moses, by the commandment of the Lord, sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All those men were heads of the children of Israel, and these were the names of the tribes of Reuben, and they go on to name the tribes. You go on down to about verse 16. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Oshitha, the son of Nun, Jehoshua. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, Get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many. And what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not, and be ye of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. And so they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin to Rehob, as men come from Hamath, and they ascended by the south and came to Hebron. And you go on down and you look about verse 24 through 26. The place was called the brook Eshcol, because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence, and they returned from searching the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and Aaron, and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, to the wilderness of Paran, to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them, and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. Here's what is in the land. Look at these fruits. Look at these grapes. Look at all that we brought back. And they told him and said, We came into the land whither thou sentest, and surely it flowed with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Now remember, the Lord said, I'm going to give this to you. You just go and look at it. You observe. I want you to observe these things, and I want you to bring back a report about these things. What kind of land was it? A land that flowed with milk and honey. And I want you to notice verse 28. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled, and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there, and the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell in the sea, and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses. I want you to notice something. Number one, you have here a disbelief in God's word. At the very beginning, God said, Go and possess that land. I'm going to give you this land. When we look over the book of Deuteronomy, in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 6 through 8, what do we read here? The Lord our God spake unto us in Horeb, saying, Ye have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn you and take your journey, and go to the mount of the Amorites, and to all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, and the land of the Canaanites, and unto Lebanon, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and do what? Possess it. I'm giving it to you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. The Lord said, I have given you this land. This is yours. Just go and possess it. These men had seen God's power coming out of Egyptian bondage. They had been there. They had been there when Moses had put forth the plagues upon Egypt. They had been there when we read them in Exodus chapter 15 of singing songs of praise to God after they had been delivered through the Red Sea. And God said, go and possess the land. Go and possess it. And what did they do? Well, it's a good land, but it's a good land that flows with milk and honey. Here's the fruit. You wouldn't believe how wonderful this land is, but there's strongholds there. There's great men there. There's big men there. And it's as if we were grasshoppers at their sight. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 20 through 22. And I said unto you, you are come into the mountain of the Amorites, which the Lord our God doth give unto us. Behold, the Lord thy God hath set the land before thee. Go up and possess it. As the Lord God of thy fathers hath said unto thee, fear not, neither be discouraged. Don't fear. Don't disbelieve me. I'm giving the land to you. You have nothing to fear. Don't be discouraged. And you came near unto me, every one of you, and said, we will send men before us, and they shall search us out the land, and bring us word again, by that way we must go up. And into what cities we shall come. Now, that's not all they did. You see, when they came back, they should have just given the report. Here's what the layout is of the city. Now, Moses, you tell us where to go. You ask God which way we go first, and we'll go. But they said, but. Look at all these strongholds. Look at what we have before us. And they began to disbelieve what God said. Is God really going to give us this land? Look at all the men, the great men, and the strongholds that are there. I just don't know if I believe it. We do that today. The small congregations do that today. Oh, I don't know about us growing. There's just everyone that's in our area are members of a certain group, a certain denomination. I just don't think we can ever do any good in this area. God said go. Matthew 28 and Mark chapter 16. Go. We need to get over this grasshopper complex. And so many small congregations have this. I'm not saying McCaysville does, but I hope and pray we never fall into being like that and having that attitude. I believe this congregation does a marvelous work. We did 2 works yesterday in our community. We're very vocal. At the health fair yesterday, I had set out some DVDs and tracts pertaining to very hot button issues in today's time. Gay marriage and abortion. I had to restock what I had. People were taking them up like hotcakes. One lady said, I was looking for your booth because I come by your booth every year. And she said, do you have any more? And she was naming a specific set of tracts that I have. And I didn't have enough room to put all. I only had one table this year. So I pulled them in, and I had the stack with me. She said, can I have some more of this one and this one and this one? I said, absolutely. Don't be afraid. Just do what God says. But then not only do we find the disbelief, we see the discouraging